guys. It's 5 a.m. and welcome to a day in the life. Okie dokie. Forgive my hair, by the way. It's kind of wacky, bedhead. So I'm gonna take you guys throughout my day and what I do. My days aren't necessarily that, spectacular in regards of the content of my activities, but yeah, we're gonna do it nonetheless. First and foremost, wake up, crush some electrolytes. I'm currently on no caffeine right now. I definitely miss my cup of joe in the morning, I will tell you that much. 1 scoop of electrolytes. But I quit caffeine to help downregulate my nervous system as just one of the initiatives to help in that regard. In addition, I'm doing lots of meditation and yoga and things of this nature. But so since I'm on no caffeine right now, and I really miss my coffee in the morning, I'm instead replacing that with electrolytes in the morning, plus a workout. And it kind of helps me forget about the fact that I'm not drinking caffeine anymore. I want some type of satisfying beverage in the morning, you know what I mean? So right now, electrolytes. And it's actually what your body needs when you first wake up, not caffeine. I usually have my clothes prepped for the next day on the floor, and also my gym bag prepped. All right, so it is now about 5:30, and I usually like to take a little peek at my goals and journal for at least a few seconds before heading out, just to kind of get my mind oriented in the right direction and just keep my focus in that place. Okay, off we go to the gym. I've tried a lot of different combinations of morning routines and ways to structure my day. And honestly, having the gym first thing in the morning, it tends to be my favorite. It's just such a nice way to open up your day. Obviously it gives you physical energy, but I also just like mental aspect of it. Just starting the day, crushing a workout, pushing yourself, having some fun in the gym. Intention for this video is just to bring you guys along for my day. I have a pretty heavy kind of work type of day today. Going to be filming a lot of stuff outside of this video, and I want to give you guys a little slice of my reality. I'm living a pretty simple lifestyle right now. Not a whole lot of extravagant activities going on. Just super dialed in with work and my own self-development. I'm fitting in this very, very tight spot. All right, guys, gym is complete. Ended off with a nice steam session there. It's honestly my favorite part of the gym. Usually do 10 to 20 minutes, depending on how much of a time crunch I'm in. Today, I'm like super behind schedule compared to my regular schedule. It is currently 8:21 a.m. and so that is much later than I usually like to be arriving home from the gym. I committed to a new schedule recently where waking up at 5 a.m. and then crushing my workout right away and then getting right to work. And it's a very aggressive kind of tight schedule where I want to be home by like 7, having breakfast at 7, start work by 7:30. So behind that, intended on schedule, but today took a bit more time doing my journaling session, took a bit more time because I'm filming this day in the life, and so that takes a bit of logistical energy and time. But yeah, now I'm gonna go home, have breakfast, probably do a little bit of journaling and meditation because I really feel like I need that right now. Like that workout, it was not a long workout. It was 3 exercises, 4 sets apiece, but I was taking a lot of time in between sets to just like meditate and process. And I've talked about this in almost all of my recent videos because it's relevant to my life, but over the last 2 years been going through a very like painful kind of emotional healing journey, and that persists to present day, where essentially I experience just a lot of emotional pain and exhaustion, and I'm constantly expressing it and letting it out. Sometimes I cry, sometimes I just journal or meditate or process or feel it, but today was pretty potent during my workout, and so, you know, I have the skill at this point to override it whenever I want to, you know what I mean? Whether I'm working or working out, I have the skill to, you know, just push through. But oftentimes I don't want to do that, and I know it's not the best play because that's just a form of suppression. I'm gonna have to deal with the same stuff later, whether it's later that day, later that week, later that month, later that year. And so my personal kind of approach is to deal with stuff as it comes up when it comes up. And now in certain situations, you don't have the luxury of taking a 10-minute meditation or taking you know, going to another room to cry if you need to, or whatever you need to do. And so in those situations, you have to push through, you have to take the call, you have to do the meeting, you have to do the dinner, or whatever it is that you can't really step away from. But whenever you can, I think it's the best play to address whatever's coming up for you. So that's what I typically do. Okie dokie. These are hopefully clean, if I remembered correctly, and they are not. So that's quite inconvenient. I'm gonna have to wash these by hand. I completely forgot to clean my dishes. Happens, folks. All right, if you guys want to see my fridge, pretty much eggs. There's not much in here right now. Blueberries, got some bubblies, some sauce, bread, and then in the top we have meat and veggies. And I'm gonna defrost this ground beef for later, and I'm gonna have that with frozen veggies. So yeah, fridge pretty empty right now. Gonna have to do a grocery shop probably today. Green, of course. Pretty much have eggs on toast, and then I also have toast with almond butter and jam. So pretty much 6 pieces of toast total. Oh, it's not even toast actually. This is straight from the fridge, so it's still cold. I actually do not own a toaster. But I haven't really missed it, honestly. Like, you guys can judge me, but cold bread isn't the worst thing in the world. This is sourdough bread, by the way. If you guys are curious. All right, and breakfast is served, and I usually watch something on YouTube as well, either like a positive input or sports highlights. Particularly, I like watching tennis and Formula One, or it might be something else random, but some type of input during breakfast.
All right, guys, so I'm about to make lunch. I just took a very long meditation slash emotional breakdown slash journaling session for myself. I've reached a point where my nervous system has been completely fried. I just feel incredibly exhausted, and a lot of things just like kind of built up within me. And yeah, I've definitely been going through the last couple weeks, and you know, I'm a person that believes that life happens for you, not to you, meaning that all the hard times that you go through, they are there to show you something, or they're there to teach you something, or to point you in some kind of direction, or teach you something that you need to learn. And so my frame around this level of like pain and emotional exhaustion I've been feeling has been like, what do I need to learn here? What shifts do I need to make? What do I need to realize? And what I did articulate is that I do need to make some fundamental shifts within myself in multiple fronts in life. One of which is to really align Elite Self with what it should be. Pretty much ever since I started business, I've kind of just been like in the fitness coach box, because that's what most people care about, and that's what most people, you know, buy my program for, is fitness coaching. And not to say that that's going to be eliminated, but it's not what Elite Self is truly about in its entirety. Elite Self is becoming the version of yourself you know you need to become to max out your true potential, mentally, physically, emotionally, spiritually, habitually. And fitness is just one piece of that pie. And so in order to create that company, though, to create $1 billion self-development company, I'm gonna have to develop into a certain version of myself. And sometimes I think that life just has to slap you in the face in order to realize certain things. And so this is a shift I'm gonna start to make, is shifting the company into what I know it truly can be and should be. On a personal level, several things will have to shift. I'm gonna have to become much higher performance and much more of a high leverage time allocator per se. Essentially just meaning that I'm spending my days working on heavy hitting shit that actually develops me and moves the needle forward. I'm gonna have to go heavy into education, heavy into building frameworks, self-development frameworks. I'm gonna have to focus on teaching and communicating these frameworks to social media and my program, my clients. I'm gonna have to level up several things about myself. But I've also kind of realized and came to the point where I'm just really eliminating things from my life that don't need to be there. Things from my calendar that don't need to be there, seeing certain people that don't need to be there, committing to certain events that I don't need to commit to, and just really emptying out the things that don't need to be there. Within my own self-development, I'm focusing on emptying out the things that don't need to be there, which is why I give myself 2 hours on a Tuesday to go through my process and to have an emotional breakdown and to cry and to journal and to process, because I know this shit just needs to come out. And I'm just in a season of letting things go and evolving into the version of myself I know I can become. I just wanted to share it with you guys, because one thing I want to do as well is document more of this shit, because I could just carry on how I was carrying on, you know, posting about calories and mindset and fitness and workouts and blah, blah, blah. And I still will, but at the same time, it's like, I want to share real shit, you know? I want to share shit that I'm actually going through on the entrepreneurship journey, on the self-development and emotional healing journey, because this is real shit, and everyone has their own equation of real shit to deal with. This is just mine. And, you know, mental health and mental struggles, emotional struggles, these aren't things that are talked about. These aren't things that are aired out, especially amongst men. We tend to keep things on the inside. We tend to just act tough because we feel that's what society and our friends and our partners expect of us. And, you know, part of being a man is being tough and being resilient and persevering and, you know, being the alpha male in certain cases. And it's really stepping into that, of course. But a real man doesn't have pent up emotional pain that he's refusing to deal with and is haunting him from the inside out. I think that real men are healed and do the work to heal, at least do the work to heal and to evolve mentally and emotionally, and not just act tough for the sake of acting tough, you know? And this goes for men and women, obviously. The inner work needs to be done independent of gender, but I'm a man and I can relate more to men. Men can probably relate more to me, so that's why I'm talking about men. This is just kind of a riff off the top. I just felt like sharing it. I'm recording this day in the life. I didn't plan on, you know, sharing this shit in the day in the life video, but it's a day in my life, and this is what occurred on this day in my life. And so I'm sharing it, and yeah, I don't know. I just feel like I have nothing to lose by sharing this shit. You know, I don't know if certain people are going to think a certain way of me. If they do, all good, whatever, who cares? I just, one quote that I keep in mind is a quote by Dan Martell. I don't know if it's his originally, but he says to die empty. He wants to die empty, meaning that by the time my eyes close and I enter in the next chapter of whatever is next, because I don't know what's next. I know energy can't be destroyed, can only be, you know, transmuted into something else. So I don't know if I'm gonna be a floating little, you know, section of pixie dust in the universe or what. But I do know that when it is time for me to go, which we obviously are unaware of when that time is, I want to feel like I left it all on the field. And part of that is sharing my shit and really stepping into who I know I can become and what I know I can create. And I want to inspire other people to do the same. Really do the inner work and do the outer work and do all the types of self-development work that they know they need to do to become the versions of themselves they know they're meant to become in order to max out what they define to be their true potential. That's the mission, and I'm just gonna work towards that. So yeah, I'm gonna leave this video at that, or at least this section of this video at that. Next up is lunch/dinner. So yeah, let's eat. All right, a lot of people ask me what exactly I have for dinner because I post it on my stories all the time, as well as my breakfast, but it's very simple. It's essentially just rice with some sort of meat and some sort of veggie. So the meat is usually ground beef. The veggies are usually like these frozen veggie packs that you can get from pretty much any grocery store. And yeah, pretty simple. And it's also very convenient. One thing about me, I do not like to spend a lot of time cooking. I'm not the type of guy that, you know, likes trying new recipes and gets a bunch of ingredients for the meal and stuff like this. Like, I'm not trying to devote time or energy to that. And so what I do instead is I find something that works. I find something that's healthy, that's convenient, that tastes good, and I run with it. And so that's what this is for me. Just rice, cook it in the rice cooker, the veggies. You can also cook in the rice cooker at the same time, so very convenient. And this usually ends up piling over a little bit. And then pretty much just plug it in. This will take, you know, 45 minutes or so, maybe a bit longer, because I put a bit more rice in today. And then essentially once that's done, cook up the ground beef and then mix it all together. Throw some no sugar added ketchup in, which I'm realizing I am out of, and pretty much eat it. So what I might do now actually is go for a little grocery store excursion, just because I'm out. So, yep. Got the ground beef thawed out from this morning. Plop that on there. This is 570 grams of beef. Now the rice cooker finished up by the time I got back, so that's the nice thing about this. It's just zero effort. And as far as a grocery haul, I pretty much just got more of the same. So another thing of eggs, as you guys saw. Got 2 more loaves of sourdough bread. We got some pork this time for the meat. Put 2 of those in the fridge. We got 3 more things of veggies. We got some salted cashews. That's my little treat for myself that I enjoy, and some more jam. I'm gonna have a few of these right now, and some no sugar added ketchup. So I love ketchup, for those of you who see my stories sometimes. But I recently started getting no sugar added ketchup. It tastes pretty much the same, just with much less sugar. So I'm definitely on the hunt for a healthy sauce, for sure. I know ketchup still isn't like the healthiest thing for you, but it's kind of just like one of those things where it tastes really good and I get the healthiest version of it. And yeah, so if you guys have any sauce recommendations, definitely let me know. As far as things that are like viable, such that you don't have to mix a bunch of things together by scratch, because I'm probably not going to do that.
Publishing your thoughts public to the internet is because in many ways it's the most beautiful personal development program, because it forces you to confront the areas of your life that you don't want to become. Every person you admire has publicly called their shot, as is, and people too that want to help you. One of the cool things to become the best version of yourself.
All right, guys, so it definitely looks like dog food, but it works for me, so bon appetit. Yo, what's up, guys? So we're finishing the day here. I pretty much just spent the rest of the day kind of planning, strategizing, did a lot of journaling. ChatGPT has been a tool I've been frequently using to journal and to strategize and to gain clarity and stuff like this. Yeah, so didn't really film the whole thing per se, but I filmed the representative clips of kind of the main activities of the day. And so, yeah, not necessarily a big work day as I anticipated, but you know, sometimes the days don't unfold the way that you anticipate. And it is what it is. So maybe I'll do a different one in the future with a more work-oriented day. But today was a day I definitely needed to go through a specific process. So a lot of emotion came up and needed to address it. So I'm just looking at my schedule right now, just kind of debriefing myself. But yeah, it is currently 8:25 p.m. I'm currently sleeping 8:30 to 5 a.m., 8:30 p.m. to 5 a.m. So yeah, gonna do some kind of deep breathing and stretching and meditation right now, really wind down. Popped my melatonin a few minutes ago and hopefully get a good sleep tonight. And we'll definitely have a more work-oriented day tomorrow. I'm not gonna record it, but that is the intention. So thank you guys for watching today. I hope this was insightful for you, I suppose. I just wanted to give a little snapshot of, I mean, today isn't necessarily a typical day, but I mean, honestly, when I've been going through stuff, it is pretty typical of me to kind of set work aside and face my inner shit. So somewhat typical day today, you could say. But yeah, thank you guys for watching. Hope it was insightful or entertaining for you in some way. And I'll see you in the next video. Peace.